The Smarter Money Life podcast is sponsored by Forum Credit Union, a member-owned financial cooperative serving members since 1941. Forum, your trusted financial partner, helping members live their financial dreams every day. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Smarter Money Life. I'm Andy Mattingly.
And I'm Nicole Royal. Andy, today's topic is one that hits close to home for a lot of couples: financial agreement. It's amazing how much smoother things go when you're both on the same page about money.
That's so true, Nicole. I've seen couples thrive when they treat finances as a team sport and work together, but I can see and have seen how quickly things can get pretty tense if money becomes a source of stress or worse, secrecy.
Yeah, that's true. And it's not just about avoiding arguments. It's about building trust, reducing stress, and making sure you're both moving in the same direction. So, Andy, what's the secret to financial bliss?
Well, I really think it's all about habits. Building the routines that make you equal partners in every decision. Compromise, which is a key word, and shared choices are the foundation for reaching not only short-term goals, but your long-term goals together.
Well, and let's be honest, this is much easier said than done. I mean, have you ever really thought or had fun about a money date with your spouse?
Well, I admit the first few times it was kind of awkward, but Angie and I have had those money dates, and early on it was really kind of important, but we've kind of gotten into the habit where, we look forward to talking about things, but we don't have to talk so much. We will have been married 37 years in the summer, so we have a little time that we've done this, but we check in, we celebrate wins, we make sure we're both comfortable with where we're going and making sure what we want to do, going forward. So it is a good thing to do.
I love that you describe it as an ongoing conversation. So let's break down some essential habits that can transform your financial life as a couple.
Yeah, so I think first, let's make sure we're having that regular money date. And when you're first starting out, it probably needs to be monthly, can be quarterly, and you can evolve to where maybe it's even semi-annual. But, set aside 45 or 60 minutes each session to look at, things like cash flow, your goals, upcoming expenses, and decisions that you have to make. And remember, make sure it's calm and that you're focused. And really, even if it's a loosely on a napkin, have a shared agenda of the things that you both want to talk about. That's really important.
Don't forget snacks.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Seriously, though, making it fun helps a little. Next, set clear goals and savings rates. Turn your dreams into dollar targets instead of automatic transfers. Agree on a household savings or investing rate that works for both of you.
Yeah, I agree. Snacks are really helpful, but maybe not crunchy ones.
Yes.
Donuts or muffins or scones are probably better. And for turning dreams into savings, you have to think about those things. So like we have a vacation fund and a home improvement fund. Those are the things that we're working on now. So what's your dream savings bucket, Nicole?
Similar. We always have a home improvement fund. There's always things we want to do around the house. And right now we have an Italy fund. So for our 20th wedding anniversary, we're going to Italy.
That's great. But you planned ahead of time for it, right?
Yeah, we're 3 years away from a 20th anniversary.
That is great. That is great. Now, after we have our dream savings bucket, the next move is kind of the simple budget. And you can pick any budget that you'll stick to. It can be a 50, 30, 20 budget, which we'll go into that more on another episode, or a zero-based, or pay yourself first, or just tracking at the high level. But it's just really important that you both can understand it and you can easily access the budget so you can have discussions about it.
I think that's a great point. And here's another thing that I think is really important. You have to create personal fund money in your budget. Give each partner a no questions asked allowance to spend freely. This reduces friction and micromanagement. Andy, what's your fun money splurge?
Golf. Hands down, golf gear. And Angie's always fine with me to get that.
Okay, next, establish decision thresholds. For example, any unplanned purchase or a certain amount requires a quick check-in, and bigger expenses need a joint decision. This ensures you are actually planning together. No one likes to have to agree after the fact.
Yeah, that's a big one. Because agreeing after the fact means that you're not really agreeing, but you're just not wanting to create an issue, and that can cause a problem later. I think one move that couples really should embrace is automating the essentials. So put bills, savings, investments, and debt payments on autopilot. So it reduces errors, it reduces stress, and then those decisions, once you've made, they're automatic every month. And you don't have to burden one person to make sure everything is done.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. It's so important that as a couple, you review and adjust quarterly for a money plan. Life changes, and so should your plan. Revisit your goals, savings rate, and budget every few months to make sure all is working, and also that you are both in alignment still.
Yeah, and I think what goes along with that is to make sure you're sharing the mental load. So divide financial tasks so it isn't one person that has to do it, and also avoid control traps. The higher earner doesn't get more votes. All decisions are joint, and if you do it that way, you'll be guided by your plan. And it is important that you understand there are going to be disagreements about money, and you just have to compromise.
The best way to get around these agreements is to use the I statements in your curiosity. For example, I feel stressed when balances are a surprise. Can we review every 2 weeks? This doesn't place blame, conveys a genuine feeling, and provides a possible solution.
That's good. I really like the I statements. Also important to separate planning from judging. Debrief what happened, adjust your system, and move forward. This isn't the time to have to redo the entire plan. It's just that there's something that happens, look at it, don't place blame, and just try to move forward with it.
And celebrate the wins. Acknowledge progress, like paying off a card or hitting a savings milestone to build positive momentum. When you celebrate as a couple your financial victories, it further cements the partnership. Plus, everyone likes to be rewarded for accomplishments.
Yeah, so do you have a go-to thing that you and Dave do when you have a major financial win?
We go on a date. I know that sounds silly because it's spending money, but we like to celebrate just the two of us.
No, that's what Angie and I do. And then sometimes it's just going out and picking up something and bringing it back. It's not always going out, but just the two of us.
Yes, just the
two of us.
Of course,
we're in a different situation. We're empty nesters, so it's always just the two of us, but still. There are a lot of common pitfalls to watch out for as couples that can be detrimental to building financial bliss.
Yeah, financial infidelity, which is just hiding debts or purchases, can really erode trust. Counter this with transparency and fun money allowances.
Another trap is letting one partner do everything. Rotate tasks and keep clear ownership list, knowing who's going to do what, and paying the bills and different things like that you have to do. This is really good if you can share those tasks.
And don't wait for a crisis before you start talking about finances. Have regular money dates and check-ins.
Yeah, and I think the other thing is don't overcomplicate your setup. Start simple, automate the basics, add complexity only if it solves a real problem. And I think a lot of times people will realize that one person's a spreadsheet person and another person is let's just throw them on the back of the napkin. So it's really important that you find that compromise and don't overcomplicate it. We don't need a multi-functioning worksheet to really have good money discussions.
Well, and the more often you do it, the more comfortable you'll be just having the conversations.
Exactly.
Now it's time for our listener Q&A. First question. My partner and I have very different spending habits. How do we find common ground without constant arguments?
And this is really a good question.
Mm-hmm.
And at first, acknowledge that it's normal for couples to have different approaches to money. The key is open communication and compromise. Start by these regular money dates that we talked about, where you're making sure that you have judgment-free check-ins so you can talk about goals, review spending, and make decisions together. And I will tell you that most people I talk to, they don't have the same spending habits as a couple, and they can get along fine. But they realize that they have different spending habits.
Yep. And don't forget that this is what the fun money allowance is for. Giving each partner a set amount of money to spend however they feel really reduces that friction. It's about respecting each other's choices while still working towards shared goals.
And I also think another good one is setting decision thresholds. And what I mean by that is there may be something that you need to do or someone wants to do that's for both of you, but one person wants to go and buy it. The other person's like, well, wait a minute, you didn't ask me. We'll set a goal. If it's $100 or $500, saying, if you do it, it's fine. And I think that's really important because you don't have to always be involved in every money decision. It's just you want the big ones to be there.
And then it doesn't feel like you're having to ask permission. It's an agreement you've already made.
Yes, exactly.
And remember to celebrate your wins, like sticking to your budget or saving for something special. Positive reinforcement really does go a long way. Next question. What if my partner avoids talking about money altogether?
You know what? This is actually more common than people think. And, I've talked to couples where one person hears budget and immediately wants to change the subject or just leaves the room. Usually, avoidance comes from stress or past money mistakes. It's not really a lack of care. They just feel uncomfortable talking about it. I mean, if you think about it, as a people, we don't really like to talk about money.
No, we don't. Start small. So instead of having, a big conversation with spreadsheets and, a lot of numbers, just try something more conversational. Here's an example. What would feeling financially secure feel like to you? That feels a lot safer than why did you spend this much money at Target? Because somehow Target is never just Target, and using this question feels like an attack instead of a request for information.
Yeah, that never goes over well.
It really doesn't.
It does not. It does not. Next question. My partner and I have different incomes. How do we keep things feeling fair?
Remember, income isn't the only contribution. One partner might earn more while the other manages the calendar, the kids, the insurance calls, and somehow remembers everyone's birthday. That's value, and even if it doesn't come with a paycheck.
That is so true. And defining fair isn't simple in a relationship. And decisions should never be based on who makes the most because that can change. Without equal decision making, there is no way to have this equal compromise going on, or that there's perceived power or anything like that. So it's really important that you look at everything 50-50 and listen to everyone.
This is a question that comes up often. Should couples combine all their finances or keep some money separate?
Yeah, and here I think there is no one-size-fits-all answer here. Some couples combine everything because it's the easiest way to manage it, and they feel like that then there isn't any separation or any power. Others keep separate accounts, but then they have a joint household account. I think what matters is transparency, so that everyone knows what the full financial picture is.
Again, that's why you just agree, so you avoid those future conflicts. Let's be honest, fun money saves marriages. I've seen couples argue for weeks over a $60 purchase that could have been avoided with a simple agreement. If one person wants fancy coffee and the other wants fishing gear, great. Budget for both and move on.
Yeah, and I think that's important because I always tell people you don't have to give up your latte. You just have to plan for it.
Right.
Or whatever the thing is. Here's another good question. How do we handle unexpected expenses without arguing?
Well, first you have to expect the unexpected. Cars don't politely ask for breaking down.
Yeah.
They wait until the worst possible moment when you have other financial strains or issues that have to be solved.
Yeah, and that's why the emergency fund matters. When the plan already accounts for surprises, the conversation shifts from whose fault is this, or to, okay, which account are we using? And that's a much calmer discussion, and usually without raised voices. And I really think both you and I have kids. Kids also add another unexpected expenses to your discussion all the time.
I'm so glad that you said the emergency fund, because really that's what it's there for, is when the unexpected things happen.
Yes.
Final question for today. What if we disagree on priorities, like saving versus enjoying life now?
This really comes out all the time. One person wants to max out retirement accounts. The other one wants to take a family vacation while everyone still fits in the same hotel room. And that's, is really a lot of times they're both important priorities, but you do have to have some compromise there.
And the solution is really do both. Save automatically for the future and intentionally plan for fun today. When enjoyment is part of the plan, it stops feeling like wasted money and starts feeling like a shared win.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, financial agreement isn't about being perfect. It's about building habits that support trust, teamwork, and makes the stress just a little bit less.
Andy, I think we covered a lot today. If you and your significant other want to achieve financial bliss, start with these habits.
And remember, as I just said, it's not about being perfect. It's about making progress together.
Thanks for joining us today. If you want more tips or resources, visit forumcu.com.
And don't forget to tune in next time for more ways to make your money work smarter for you.
Thank you for joining us today. Our hope is that we can help you live your best financial life. For more insights, be sure to subscribe to the Smarter Money Life YouTube channel and also catch the Smarter Money Minute segment every Thursday on Fox 59's Indie Now Lifestyle Show. Remember, reaching your financial dreams is a journey, and every step you take brings you closer to making your dreams a reality.